We have just cruised the Celebrity Beyond for the past 2 weeks, and we have encountered so many cruisers that have said they will never do this cruise again. Cruise. Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Jordan and this is JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for clicking into the video today. We've gotten a couple of emails over the last couple of weeks asking, where is Jared? And Jared has been in these videos. We actually just did all of the Utopia of the Seas series pretty much together, but because of our travel agency business, when you see me on camera, he's booking your cruise vacations and vice versa. So all is good in the world of JJ Cruise. It's just kind of the way that we're running the channel and the business right now. But today I have a very interesting video. We are on one of our favorite cruise ships in the world. Whenever we get that question, what cruise ship do you guys like the best? We typically answer the Celebrity Beyond or the Celebrity Ascent. These ships just fit our style. We feel like the food is great. We feel like the service is over the top. And even the rooms are a bit bigger and roomier than your average size cruise ship. But over the last 2 weeks, we have encountered so many cruisers that have stopped to tell us they will never do this cruise again. And we've compiled a list of 7 reasons why people say this particular cruise is not their favorite and they will avoid it moving forward. Before I get into it, I do just want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer and closer to our goal of 75,000 subscribers. If you want to join us along for the adventure and the future cruises that we're going on, consider hitting that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the thumbs up. The 2 cruises that we took back to back on the Celebrity Beyond consisted of an 8-night cruise out of Fort Lauderdale to the Southern Caribbean, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, or the ABC Islands, followed by a shorter 6-night cruise to Cozumel, Mexico, Grand Cayman, and Bimini, Bahamas. To be honest, looking from the outside in, this looks like a great couple of weeks. You've got incredible islands on there, the lush tropical jungles and deserts of the Southern Caribbean, the fun party atmosphere and vibe of places like Cozumel and Bimini. But as you begin to kind of go through the motions of being on the ship, you realize that there's some things that are different about these couple of weeks compared to cruising in other months or other weeks that you may cruise in the Caribbean. Let's get into the 7 reasons that people have told us they will never do these cruises again. Starting off is the heat. It is August, it is the dead of summer, and it is the Caribbean. So we have been hovering between 85 and 92 degrees, especially when we get south here on the ship, and it has been hot. Not only has it been hot outside, the ship has had some issues in particular areas keeping up on the inside as well. There's certain places and bars that are close to entrances and exits on the ship that run hot almost the entire time. The theater, which is normally a really cool, crisp place and you typically need a sweater or a shawl in there, has also been a hot area of the ship. The heat has been excessive for a lot of people, and most people describe their moments outdoors as miserable. For this 6-night cruise, we are on with friends, and we did the alfresco dining up at the rooftop grill, and it was one of the most miserable dining experiences that we've had because we ate right at 6 p.m. It was 88 degrees outside, and the sun was coming down upon us as we were eating our burgers and steaks. It's supposed to feel like a backyard barbecue, but on land, if it's typically that hot, we are definitely taking the barbecue inside. Another reason that people have said they will never do this type of cruise again is because of the crowds. Now, on a typical cruise, double occupancy capacity on this ship is 3,200. When it is sold out at max capacity, meaning that there's 3 to 4 people in staterooms instead of just 2, it can fit 3,900, just shy of 4,000 guests on board. I can tell you that I don't think we've ever sailed the Beyond with that many passengers up until last week, and you can feel it. The ship feels packed. From the dining rooms to the pool deck to trying to get a lounge chair, every part of the ship feels full at almost every time. Jared and I have sailed on Edge class ships a lot, more than 60 days in fact. And we have never actually felt a ship be crowded to the level that this is. So you can definitely feel the extra families, the extra kids on board. Of course, it is summer break. So there's a lot of multi-generational families on this sailing, which is great for mom and dad and grandpa and grandma. but you do really feel the tightness of the ship and the amount of people that are kind of squished in here to the capacity of the Beyond. Another reason that one cruiser told us they will never do this sailing again is because of the intense sun, sunburn, and sun poisoning. Now, when you come to the Caribbean or down to South Florida, you have a chance of getting sunburn at any time, which makes using sunscreen very important. But in the dead of summer, the sun is just pounding down on you all day when you're at the pool. You mix that with alcohol or cruise cocktails, and it's a lot easier to get sunburnt and even sun poisoning when you are sailing in the month of August. Thankfully, our mamas taught us right, because we have been lathering on the sunscreen the entire 2 weeks that we've been here. But as you can see, there still has been a little bit of burn on my face in the last couple of days because of the intensity of the sun. Reason number 4 is the unpredictable weather. Now, while it has been pretty nice most of the time, we have seen rain almost every single day. We've had rain on excursions, we've seen rain on islands, and we've seen rain on the ships. This is kind of the rainy season, or the really wet season for the Caribbean, so you never really know what you're going to get and what day you're going to get it when sailing. Often the rain doesn't last all day and will only come in and out for a few hours, but still there are drier seasons to sail in, and the summer might be one that is just going to be nixed for some people after the last couple of weeks. Speaking of storms, another reason people said that they will not do this sailing again is because of hurricanes and tropical storms. Now, while this particular cruise was not impacted by Hurricane Debbie, which just hit the Gulf of Mexico, there was other tropical storms that caused people to miss their flight and miss their cruise on the last cruise. Around the end of July, there were some terrible storms in Florida, and there was a lot of people getting their flights canceled. Thankfully, Jared and I were already down here, and our families were with us on that cruise, and they all flew in 2 days before. But if they would have flown in the day before, there would have been a risk that they would have missed the cruise entirely due to not being able to get out of the airport and not being able to get down to Florida. Reason number 6 has to do with the cost. Now, it's no secret that the summer is high season for cruising, so a lot of people pay 25 to 30% more to sail in the summer than they do the rest of the year. And this is because there's a high demand. For families, this is the main time of year that they can travel and they can take their kids on cruises, so it completely makes sense. But with that high demand of cruising comes a much higher cost, and we've spoken to some people that feel like they maybe overpaid a little bit more than they would have liked for these last couple of weeks, and that they could have possibly found better deals throughout the year. But again, because of their families and because of the kiddos, they had to sail in the summer. The last reason that we have heard that people have said no more to summer cruising is the motion in the ocean. There has been some movement on the ship this week, and we've been sailing with some friends that get a little easily seasick. And it definitely is more noticeable in the summertime, tropical storm season, hurricane season, than it is throughout the rest of the year. You, of course, can have terrible motion on your ship at any time. So I wouldn't say this is the best reason to avoid a particular time frame for sailing, but it is just something to consider where you could have bad storms, you could have hurricanes, you could also have motion in the ocean, and that could kind of follow you with some seasickness. If you haven't caught on by now, there's one thing that all of these have in common, and that is summer Caribbean cruising. And that is truly what people have been saying to us, is that they will never book a cruise in July or August in the Caribbean ever again. Jared and I have been on over 80 cruises, so we can tell you the best weeks of the year to cruise the Caribbean, and there are 4 of them. In our opinion, the best time to cruise the Caribbean is the first 2 weeks of November and the first 2 weeks of December, kind of going right around the Thanksgiving time frame. Those 2 weeks typically have lower capacity on ships, are some of the cheapest or most affordable times to cruise. You normally have really nice weather, you're outside of hurricane season, and you don't have the intense heat that comes with the summer Caribbean sailing season. We have sailed in early November and early December multiple times. We've actually taken groups to the Caribbean for group cruises in early December as well, and we've always found the weather to be much more favorable and the cost to be much more affordable. For those of you that do cruise in the summer, and you have to cruise in the summer because it's the only time you can get away, whether you're a teacher or you have a family or you're looking for that big family reunion vacation to take, there are a few other areas that as travel agents we recommend you book. or look into. One is Alaska. Alaska is a great place to go to in the summer. The crowds are getting a little bit busier there in the last couple of years, but you still don't always have the max capacity on these ships. And you can find good deals if you're willing to sail in an inside stateroom or an ocean view stateroom. If you want to be a little bit more adventurous, sailing Norway, Iceland, or the rest of Northern Europe is a great destination for summer where it's a little bit more chill, the weather is going to be much cooler, and you're not going to deal with the insane crowds that the Caribbean sees all summer long. Now I turn this to you. Are summer Caribbean sailings off the agenda for you and your family? Or is this the only time of year that you can cruise? What are your thoughts about what these cruisers have been telling us the last couple of weeks, and do you agree with them or do you disagree with them? Maybe you're someone that loves the heat and loves soaking by the pool when it's 90 degrees out, and summer Caribbean cruising is your thing. For Jared and I, we will always often find ourselves in the Caribbean in the summer, so this is something that we have become used to. We know what to expect, and we completely understand how it's going to be while we're down here cruising. For our family and even our friends that are sailing with us right now, I don't think that they quite expected the heat and the crowds on board, so it was a little bit of a shock for them, and maybe we should have done a better job making sure they knew what they were kind of in for. But let me know what you think of all of these things in the comments below. The comments are open for a healthy discussion. If you want to book your cruise, reach out to us. You can reach us at www.jjcruise.com. We're always happy to make the best recommendation for when you should sail and where you should sail. And Jared and I work actually directly with you. We don't have anybody else on our team at the moment. So if you want to work directly with us on your future cruise booking, go to that email and fill out our interest form. Well, thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Jordan. On your way out, if you could subscribe, hit the like button, and until next time, see ya.